This guy was just an ordinary college student, but when the world fell into disaster and civilization was destroyed, he became a necromancer summoner, leading a skeleton army lit RPG to restore new order. Today, the main character Sung Gu and his underling Han Ho went to school. Han Ho suddenly pointed up and said, "Didn't you just see some kind of game loading icon?" But when Sung Gu looked up, he saw nothing. He just thought his buddy had been playing Free Fire for way too long and was hallucinating from the post-apocalyptic game system. Nothing happened until the 5th period. Suddenly a bulletin popped up right in front of Sung Gu. Not only him, but everyone in the class experienced this strange event. The bulletin displayed countless cards and told everyone to pick one within 15 seconds. The chubby kid curiously touched the 2-star warrior card. Instantly, a sword dropped right in front of him. Seeing that Sung Gu chose the 5-star summoner card, when the timer hit 0, everything immediately returned to normal. Before the class could even process what just happened, a young man was suddenly attacked. Something stabbed a knife into his back. When everyone saw the terrifying shape of the creature, they were terrified and quickly ran away. The monster immediately charged at Sung Gu, aiming to take his life, but if it wanted to feast on him, it wouldn't be so easy. Very quickly, Sung Gu smashed the creature's head with a chair, knocking it out cold. After Sung Gu defeated the monster, the notification popped up again. "Congratulations, you have hunted a goblin. Your reward is 10 gold coins." Everyone was shocked. Could this be the legendary monster hunting and leveling up system? At that moment, the goblin's corpse that Sung Gu killed suddenly emitted blue smoke. In the blink of an eye, it transformed into a dry skeleton. That's the power of the summoner card. Sung Gu had gained the skill to summon the dead. Outside, 2 more goblins rushed into the classroom. Sung Gu immediately ordered his new underling, "Go, take them down for me." The bone skeleton goblin instantly obeyed. Wielding a knife, it charged fiercely at both enemies. The bone skeleton stabbed one goblin, injuring it, but the other goblin chopped off one of its arms. Seeing the situation was bad, Sung Gu told the chubby kid to hand over the sword, but the kid said, "This is my sword, so I'm not lending it." Sung Gu said, "If he's got a sword, then let him fight." What a useless, cowardly fat kid. In the end, Sung Gu had to handle it himself. He threw a chair at them and managed to take down one goblin. The other goblin was skewered by the bone skeleton and immediately logged out. Then, Sung Gu received a reward of 20 gold coins for hunting 2 goblins. The bone skeleton stepped in front of Sung Gu. Its eyes seemed to say, "Big bro, do you think I'm good?" But man, it looked terrifying. "Can you look somewhere else? Big bro here just uses people and then tosses them aside. That's really depressing." After calming down, the teacher asked everyone, "What just happened?" "I don't know either, but my phone can't call the police." The monster attack event didn't just happen in the classroom, it plunged the entire city into chaos. Sung Gu didn't know if this was only happening in Korea or if it had spread worldwide. Everyone decided they had to get out of here fast. They just needed to reach the parking lot to get their cars. But the path was blocked by a horde of bloodthirsty goblins. "Retreat together so I can stay behind and hold them off," but in the chaos, everyone scattered, running in different directions. They were warned, yet they split up to go solo. There's no saving them now. Sung Gu started to deduce that the school had turned into a monster hunting dungeon. Since this is a game, there must be some rules he has to follow. Only by understanding this post-apocalyptic game system can he increase his chances of survival. At that moment, one of Sung Gu's white skeletons got a light chop to the head from an enemy. The news feed immediately announced that one of his disciples had permanently died. Luckily, the other 2 white skeletons successfully eliminated the foe. This time, Sung Gu not only received gold as a reward for hunting the goblin, but also leveled up to level 2. Player Du Sunggo's stats were 5 points in strength, 5 points in speed, and 5 points in endurance as well. Please choose a random card to level up. He wondered how he had such bad luck drawing a card that did nothing but increase a bit of mana. Fortunately, the number of minions had increased to 4, so that was some consolation. "My mood's really bad right now. You guys go scout around." Even though Sung Gu still didn't know what had happened in this world, he was doing very well. As long as he didn't make mistakes, he would keep leveling up and growing stronger. First and foremost, survival was the priority, then finding a way to escape this place. Outside, the scene had turned into a living hell. Sung Gu couldn't just stay here, so he decided to take action. He sent 4 of his brothers ahead to scout the path. While moving, the white skeleton suddenly spotted an opposing male student screaming in terror. In panic, he grabbed a knife and attacked the skeleton. Sung Gu immediately recognized him as Senior Han Ho. "That's him. What the hell are these things?" "It's okay, they're my bodyguards. Just feel sorry for the kid who randomly got his head smashed. If you weren't my bro's acquaintance, I'd have beaten you to a pulp already." Han Ho recounted after the newsfeed appeared. He had chosen a 1-star thief card, because he thought fewer stars meant better luck. Then Sunggu started checking Hanho's info. NPC didn't expect the opponent's skills to combine with his goblins. Collecting matching gear would multiply their power many times over. While descending the stairs, they were blocked by a group of goblins, and among them was the leader. The 4 white skeletons immediately used a combo skill to reduce the enemy's power by 30%. The goblins started to panic. They didn't understand why they suddenly felt weaker. The 2 young men thought this fight was a sure win, but the goblin leader activated the Nature's Wrath skill. The goblin minions were instantly buffed and became even stronger than before. Very quickly, the 4 skeleton brothers got their asses handed to them. One lost an arm, another was pinned to the ground. Hanho thought it was hopeless now, and told Sunggu to run immediately, but Sunggu still wanted to stay and observe the enemy carefully. It seemed like he was waiting for some opportunity. When he saw the goblin leader's arm raised, ready to cast a spell, he immediately ordered the skeleton squad to act. One suddenly broke free from the fight and jumped really high. With one slash, it cut off the leader's hand, which fell to the ground. The goblin leader screamed in agony. It quickly kicked away the culprit, who had just chopped off its hand. Because the leader was severely injured, the minion's buff was quickly removed. They got flipped by the skeleton squad and got wrecked, while Sunggu kept gaining gold and experience points. After dealing with the mob, the Bone Squad teamed up and successfully took down the injured leader. Congratulations to the player for receiving 55 gold coins for defeating the goblin leader. Sunggu also took the chance to loot. He picked up a boar launcher and the leader's bracelet. The weapon is a normal grade ranged weapon, and the bracelet is a normal grade natural soul ring, boosting attack power by 20%. Even the Bone Squad's strength was significantly increased. They gained a new skill that boosts power by 10% and attack speed by 20% for 10 minutes. The cooldown time is 1 hour. The young Bone Squad member looked at the captain expectantly. Sunggu patted his head and said, "You guys did great." The kid immediately grinned with his eyes closed. "I know you're happy, but next time can you not do that?" "It looks gross," Hanho asked. "Where do we go now? I think we should get out of here before it's too late." "There's a group gathering on the ground floor, which hasn't been attacked yet." Sunggu told his brothers to use stealth magic, and not to attract unnecessary attention. 2 of them stepped out to join the others. A young man stood up and assured everyone that the police had been notified. The student council was checking the situation. A girl suggested, "How about breaking down the door to escape?" The others explained, "Someone tried before, but it was useless. The door won't open." His name is Lee Jinsuk, a senior with influence at the school, known for harassing female students. Seeing Sunggu and Hanho approaching the door, Du Yenzux immediately shouted, "I told you to stay away from that door." But noticing he was getting heated, he quickly added, "I'm a bit sensitive and lose my temper easily." X-Yuk said, "If you two have weapons, you should help everyone out." Seeing Sunggu's boar launcher, he looked down on it a bit. "What, you planning to poke pigs? You picked the 2-star knight card, so you got this shield. It's super durable. What's going on? You guys just hide behind me and I'll cover you." Just then, a chubby guy ran over and reported, "There's goblin noise upstairs." Du Yensuk told everyone to move slowly inside and hide in the cafe. Meanwhile, Sunggu and Hanho focused on the door. It was sealed. Players must defeat the boss to release the magic, or the door won't open. If the boss isn't defeated within the time limit, the monsters in the building get stronger. Jin Sub saw the message too, but he didn't want to fight. He just wanted to wait for the police. Du Yensuk was confident in the strength of the Korean military. Sunggu thought that was naive faith. Relying on others is no match for relying on yourself. Just as he was about to climb the stairs, the goblins came down. There were some in the hallway too. "Senior, but those aren't goblins, they're Sunggu's Bone Squad." Insuk was terrified. "What the hell are those things?" Sunggu raised his boar launcher. "Don't worry, Senior, they're not monsters. We need to stay sharp. If a crazy person tries to lead, everyone's in danger." "So what exactly is your skill, Sunggu?" "Something really awesome." After the captain's words, the Bone Squad activated their Death Breath skill. The enemy's strength quickly dropped by 30%. In this state, they're no match for the Bone Squad. Our guys took the opportunity to kill, steal. Anyone who slipped up lost their life. 2 goblins sensed the danger and tried to turn back and escape, but their retreat was blocked by the skeleton army. One of them was immediately pierced through and logged out on the spot. The other took the chance to shove the skeleton to run away. But in the end, it still couldn't escape the charging boar from the curved river. Everyone clapped to celebrate the victory. "Who is that guy to be so strong? I heard he's a student from the literature department here." Sunggu is taking the opportunity to tally the loot after the hunt. Congratulations to the player for receiving a new lucky spin ticket as a reward. Kid, you did great. I have praise for you guys. Hee. Thanks, big bro. Damn it, I told you guys not to do that. But after Sung-gu returned with the senior brothers, the subs no longer dared to brag in front of him. Sung-gu quickly gathered everyone in the room. He explained the importance of eliminating the post within the allowed time. Only by doing so can that door open. We only have 2 hours left, so we must find it as soon as possible. A young man raised his hand, saying he once saw a huge monster on the rooftop. The teacher was also taken by it. Sung-gu asked if anyone wanted to go to the rooftop with him, but all he got in response was silence. Han-ho asked Sung-gu, "Can you stay here?" "Of course not. You have to come along to boost the power of my skeletons." "Hoo, big bro, Shin, please spare me. No more talk. If I say go, you go." While the young man was crying and begging, a girl with a sword stepped forward. "I'll go with you guys." Her name is Junji-soo, 23 years old, formerly a 3-star tiger hunter. Dragging these useless people along won't help, while the dry mists are more useful than them. Then, Sung-gu turned back and asked if the senior wanted to come. "Are you going?" "I think it's better if I stay here. Someone has to protect the students after all." So, the boss hunting team finalized their plan. They would take the stairs to the rooftop. Very quickly, the group encountered 17 goblins. Jisoo immediately drew her sword and charged, showing off her hunter skills. With just a few basic moves, she put 3 goblins down in no time. Han-ho's eyes widened in surprise, not expecting Jisoo to be that strong. Meanwhile, Sung-gu and the skeleton squad finished off the rest. On the way, they found the teacher still alive, but his breath was very weak. The teacher regretted leading his students to the rooftop. They were attacked by a terrifying monster. The teacher told Sung-gu, "Don't go up to the rooftop. It's very dangerous there. You must survive." Then he took his last breath from his severe wounds. Sung-gu gripped his weapon tightly. Suddenly, a special quest appeared before him: avenge the professor, with an exclusive skill as the reward. Even if the quest hadn't appeared, Sung-gu was determined to kill it. Very quickly, the group ascended to the rooftop. Before them was a horrifying scene: humans treated as food by goblins, including Han-ho's classmates. Everyone immediately signaled the skeleton squad to charge. He used the goblin leader's bracelet to enhance them. Attack power, plus 10%, attack speed, plus 20%, for 20 minutes. The opponents were just ordinary goblins, and were quickly cut down. They couldn't withstand the overwhelming force of the skeleton squad after Sung-gu and Jisoo joined the battle. The goblins were even more outclassed. Whoever charges forward gets sidelined. Seeing this scene, Han-ho felt deeply regretful. Back then, he randomly chose a 1-star card, thinking it was cool. So in his anger, he threw his dagger away. Suddenly, a chilling scream echoed. A small goblin was seen shriveling from a stray bullet. Han-ho suddenly remembered his childhood talent for throwing things with deadly accuracy. "Then you're all done for. Damn you, you're dead. Have you guys seen how insanely skilled he is? He just doesn't like to show off." At this point, the goblins couldn't hold their ground and started retreating non-stop. Seeing this, the bug decided to reveal itself and face the enemy. Its goblin minions immediately knelt to pay respects to their boss. Its size matched the rumors. Truly enormous. With just a few swings, it smashed Ex-Youngu's skeleton warrior. Han-ho saw this as a perfect opportunity and tried to strike from behind, but both of his daggers were blocked by the bug's raised hand. Then it went berserk and chased Han-ho, making the young man run for his life. When it swung its claws to attack, Han-ho ducked and dodged the strike. Seizing the moment, Jesus swung his sword and landed a critical hit. Sung-gu and his 3 comrades quickly joined in to support Jesus. Some attacked from the front, others from behind, distracting the bug. Timing it perfectly, Sung-gu launched a pig spear attack. As a result, one of the bug's ears was severed. The bug screamed in rage and pain, but the more it hurt, the more furious it became, wildly attacking everyone. Sung-gu threw his sword to the one-armed skeleton warrior. This allowed him to successfully activate the one-handed warrior skill. Then Sung-gu grabbed a chair and threw it at the bug boss. As it prepared to block Han-ho's dagger, pierced its hand. "I'm right here, bet you can't catch me." Seeing the bug struggling to pull the dagger out, Sung-gu's eyes flashed. This was the moment. "Sacrifice yourself, skeleton. Farewell, skeleton. Thanks for everything." But the skeleton's sword suddenly changed direction. In an instant, it didn't use the all-encompassing technique as Sung-gu said, but instead attacked on its own terms. A streak of light flashed. The bug boss's head was severed from its neck. "Congratulations, player. You've earned 225 gold for hunting the final boss." After defeating the bot, this young man named Duanghua gained a mark above his head. He leveled up and became an elite level 2 skeleton warrior, rising from a soldier rank goblin to a commander rank goblin. Everyone who participated in the battle leveled up. Sunggu's level reached 3. After leveling up 5, random upgrade cards appeared before everyone. Last time Sunggu chose a skill that increased the number of zombies. This time he drew the bone weapon crafting skill. Players can create weapons from the bones of corpses. The quality of the final product depends on the materials used. Congratulations on completing the revenge quest. Your reward is a unique skill. Your fate has shifted slightly. Sunggu was puzzled. What does it mean that my destiny has changed a bit? He didn't understand at all. Meanwhile, Han Ho drew an item called the Thief's Cloak. Its effect is to increase stealth ability against monsters by 50%. Using this for sneaky attacks is insanely powerful. Monsters, you're coming to my story now. Jesus drew a red crystal called the Fire Starter Stone. If you sharpen your blade with this stone, it will emit free fire when attacking. Also known as the Temple Badger. After claiming their rewards, the whole group decided to head back down to the ground floor. At this moment, everyone was arguing because of Sunggu. They all believed they should follow him to hunt the boss, not stay here listening to Du Yen. Furious, Zhuge shouted, "I've been protecting you guys, so what are you barking about? If you don't want to stay here, then get lost. Just climb up to the rooftop and die like that damn Sunggu. Calm down, buddy. Who just hit me? Oh, that was me tapping you." Sure enough, when Sunggu and the skeleton army showed up, Zook didn't dare say a word. The magical curse vanished after the bug was crushed. The door swung wide open. Everyone immediately stepped outside. The 5 brothers led the way, smashing anything that crossed their path. Once outside was safe, Sunggu signaled for everyone to step out slowly. Along the way, there were plenty of corpses of unfortunate students. Very quickly, the group spotted a crowd ahead. Judging by the bloodied weapons they carried, it was clear this team was no joke. They were survivors from a battle against goblins. Suddenly, Zinshuk pushed forward. It turned out the silver-haired man was someone he knew. "Senior, I knew you'd survive." Jisoo revealed the other party's identity as Student Council President Park. It seemed Desung was now the leader of this group. Desung suddenly noticed the skeleton army squad and asked, "What are these monsters?" Sunggu explained it was his summoning skill. He said if he wanted to join them, he'd have to deal with the skeleton army squad first. To him, they looked like bizarre monsters. Hearing this, Gray Sung scoffed at the skeleton army squad. Han Ho immediately got angry. "How can you call these cute brothers weird? Got a problem with your eyesight?" Sunggu would never abandon the skeleton army because they were his weapons. Jisoo even drew his sword directly. "We never said we wanted to join you. You must be the student council president of the physical education department. Jisoo, come back to my team. Or you'll regret it. Stop pretending to be all righteous. You think I don't know what you've done. I'm the one who exposed you online for forging school invoices and embezzling millions of won, AK youth. So I won't stop you anymore." After that, Sunggu's group split from Desung's team. Jisoo revealed Desung was a scumbag, abusing his student council president position to deceive female students. Some of Jisoo's juniors had been harmed by him. Right now, everyone's priority was to get away from this school and avoid crowds as they were prime targets for the monsters. Sunggu suggested the group take the trail behind the school hill, since it was rarely traveled. But just as they were about to climb the stairs, they suddenly spotted something. It was a snail, bigger than even the goblin leader. Spotting its prey, it immediately charged at them. Sunggu shouted, "Get out of the way," to dodge its attack. Then he ordered his strongest brother to fight the snail. The one-armed skeleton moved quickly, dodging the snail's attack and striking back, injuring it. Jisoo was about to rush in, but Sunggu stopped him, telling everyone to stay away from the snail. He had a plan to lure it into the forest, to use the dense terrain to their advantage. Han Ho immediately threw a knife to ambush the snail. Meanwhile, all 5 skeletons simultaneously hurled their swords at it. The snail, distracted by its destruction, quickly exposed a weakness. It was grabbed tightly by 2 skeletons holding its arms. Then Sunggu swung his sword and severed the snail's right arm. Finally, the young man Yang Guo mercifully ended it. Congratulations to the player for successfully hunting the alpha snail and receiving a reward of 17 gold coins. Sunggu tried to summon the snail's soul, but failed. His level was still insufficient to resurrect common-grade monsters. He then tested his new skill, crafting weapons from bones. The snail's thigh bones immediately fused into hammers. Sunggu handed one to each person, even his disciples, with a combined effect that increased critical hit chance by 5% and damage by 10%. Suddenly, Sunggu tossed his sword to Han Ho, the young man. "Thanks," Han Ho hissed. But Sunggu said it was just a loan and he had to return it to Yang Guo when done. The group quickly descended the stairs to the main road, but in front of them, they could already control up to 7 explosive traps. Han Ho also gained a new thief skill called Sonic Cut, though this skill only worked with daggers. Meanwhile, Jesus boosted her physical strength stats. Since the thief class can only use daggers, Han Ho had to return the sword to the Divine Eagle hero for inventory. The group continued walking for a while, until they saw a pack of off-worlders attacking a bus. There were 7 of them. The group immediately devised a plan to rescue the people inside. This time, Sung Gu would show them the power of human civilization. Inside the bus, the people were panicked because even their strongest was only a 1-star profession. Just when they thought all hope was lost, the skeleton squad sped toward the off-worlders, but were suddenly ambushed and overwhelmed, quickly taken down by the kids. The young man in the bus peeked out the window and nearly had a heart attack. Han Ho assured them they were safe and opened the door to thank Sung Gu's group for saving them. The others showed him how to retrieve items from a computer screen. Welcome player to the E-Rank shop. Press any button to continue and select a lucky draw ticket with 3 levels: bronze, silver, and gold. The bronze level costs 100 gold coins. Silver costs 1,000 and gold costs 10,000. Currently, Han Ho has 360 gold coins and Jesus has 584. Sung Gu revealed he had over 1,500 gold coins, enough to spin the silver tier ticket. He decided to try his luck and won first place. He received a legendary tier Soul Tier Orb of the Sea with mana plus 300, and mana regeneration increased by 200%. Shugo spun again and got a shield, while Jesus got a long sword of expedition. Unlucky Han Ho only got a C-rank magic potion box. Elsewhere, the student council was surrounded by a swarm of snails. Despite their fierce resistance, the power gap was too great. If this continued, the group would be wiped out by the 7 snails. Suddenly, a bus charged in and knocked them away. It was Sung Gu's group and the survivors they had just rescued. Jesus jumped down to fight the snails. After striking the fiery stones, her sword erupted in blazing flames, instantly exposing the enemy's weaknesses. The skeleton squad grew smarter, no longer engaging in direct combat but keeping distance to throw throwing knives for ranged attacks. When they ran out, someone would run to retrieve more for their teammates to throw. So no matter how strong the snail monsters were, if they had more than a dozen knives stuck in them, they had to give up once they realized Sung Gu's group had saved their side. Sung started to soften his tone. "You're just showing up now." Dedung had forgotten how he used to chase everyone away, but Sung Gu didn't give him a good look either, because the people barricaded on the bus were the ones Desung had abandoned. At that moment, a sudden alert popped up. The leader snail had gone berserk after a failed hunt. Sung Gu immediately told everyone to get on the bus and leave as fast as possible. Seeing this, Desung asked Sung Gu to let him come along. He told him that to get on the bus, he had to hand over his armor. He wasn't the type to sacrifice himself for others, so Bach Coat got a new armor with one hand, even if it was a bit loose. This was the brother Sung Gu trusted the most, so he decided to invest all his gear into him. Since this kid only had one hand left, he named him Right Hand for simplicity. After getting on the bus, Sung Gu started checking his status board. He had leveled up to level 5. Now Sung Gu could summon up to 9 disciples. Plus he could tame 1 mid-level monster. And his team. Another alert popped up saying the leader snail was chasing everyone with the intent to massacre. Knowing he couldn't avoid this fight, Sung Gu boosted the group's morale. "We'll only be safe once we take it down." A young man said he had seen the org swarm before numbering up to 100. This terrified everyone on the bus. How can we possibly win against 100 of them? Seeing this, Sung Gu decided to go alone, because this useless bunch wasn't even as good as his Bach Coat squad. Jisoo stopped him, saying it was too dangerous, but he replied, "Don't worry, I've got a solid plan." Then Sung Gu said goodbye to everyone and left the convoy with the Bach Coat squad. At this point, the organ swarm was there, and the people on the bus only dared to watch from a distance. The red-haired snail was the leader of the swarm. At its command, the others charged forward. Earlier, Sung Gu had chosen a high ground position, easy to defend, but hard to attack. The first snails to charge faced the Bach Coat squad's throwing knives. Any that weren't dead yet got hammered to death by the kids. But their assault was fierce. Stopping them wasn't easy. Seeing this, Right Hand prepared to draw his sword for a bloodbath, but Sung Gu stopped him and said, "Not your turn yet." After leveling up, Sung Gu could now summon mid-level monsters. The dead snails quickly became his disciples. The combo effect activated. They gained 10% more combat power and 15% attack speed for 10 minutes. Unlike the flesh and bone snails, Bach Coat's squad was already dead, so they no longer felt pain or fatigue. When the snails started to weaken, the Bach Coat squad counterattacked. Thanks to a legendary grade mana orb, Sung Gu could control multiple explosive rains at once. Right Hand then joined the fight. Wherever his sword passed, a snail fell. In the end, the entire organ swarm was wiped out. While Sung Gu was tallying the loot, the student council group reported the super strong teammate De Sung and his crew always like to show off outside. And the result was they got picked off by the snail swarm. These guys do little but complain a lot. After that, Sung Gu and the others had to infiltrate the org nest to rescue him. It turned out the red snail from before was just a commander rank. This one was the real deal. The final bug saw everyone, and the two young men, Zung and Dean, immediately burst into tears, crying out, "Please save me. I don't want to die," Sung Gu shouted angrily. "Shut up, it was your selfishness that put the whole group in danger." In the end, these two had to pay the price for their foolish actions. At this moment, the entire boss suddenly emitted something. Everyone immediately felt their strength drained completely. Warning, you have fallen into a weakened state due to the Hellbreath skill of the final bug. Now, the final boss truly reveals itself. It is a mage-level snail. Earlier, Han Ho had secured a medicine chest, so there was an antidote. When asked if Sung Gu needed it, he said, "Take care of everyone else first." It turns out, Hellbreath not only weakened Sung Gu, but also boosted his mana to a whole new level. The bot saw this and started to panic. It's over. How the hell did my weakening skill become a buff for this guy? Sung Gu's mana skyrocketed, like he was hacking. Even his skeleton army team benefited greatly from the power boost. As a result, the boss was overwhelmed and ganged up on by the entire skeleton army. Its body quickly torn apart into hundreds of pieces. Congratulations, you have successfully hunted the powerful mage boss and received 1,500 gold coins. After absorbing energy from the final boss's corpse, the right-hand minion leveled up to level 3. It is now a commander rank goblin with immortal traits. Son Goku also retrieved something from inside the boss's mouth. A legendary grade demon bloodstone. The owner gains the demon effect when the enemy's mana is depleted. It absorbs all of their strength. The boss hunt mission is complete, and the magical seal on the door has been disabled. Now everyone can officially step outside the school. They quickly discovered the city was overrun with monsters. Some even so large they could rival a whole bus. Sung Gu realized his power was still nothing compared to them. He believed everyone must adapt to this situation. Only by hunting more dangerous prey can they level up faster. Humanity will dominate Earth because we can adapt to any circumstance. On the way, Sung Gu and the skeleton squad hunted several lone goblins. Although they were low level, their numbers were huge. Little by little, his level rose to level 6. But the money earned was minimal, since killing a goblin only rewarded 10 gold coins. Meanwhile, killing a snail earned 80 gold coins. At this point, they reached a main road, facing a battlefield. It seemed the South Korean army had clashed with a horde of monsters. Sung Gu's group quickly found a few lucky surviving soldiers. The squad leader was Sergeant Kim, but his leg was injured. Sergeant Kim recounted that their team was ambushed by a swarm of goblins. During the fight, their firearms suddenly became useless. No one knew the cause of this. The army was forced into close combat and overwhelmed by the goblins. Sung Gu used a healing potion from Han Ho to trade for information from Sergeant Kim. He revealed he had seen wolf-like beasts as big as bulls. The army couldn't capture a single one, and they wiped out an entire squad. Sergeant Kim mentioned a blue QR code. It appeared in the parking lot along the road leading into the high-speed train transfer station. Try scanning the code with your phone. The Y said there's an app installed on their phones, a community app for survivors. The only means of communication after everything else shut down. Then they got the info they needed on who gave the healing potion to Sergeant Kim. Before leaving, he reminded them to be careful of the sky because there are giant flying monsters up there that are very dangerous. Following Sergeant Kim's directions, the group quickly found the QR code, and after scanning the image, an app was instantly installed on their phones. But posting anything there costs a fee of 1,000 gold coins, equivalent to hunting 100 goblins. Song Gu discovered a post recruiting survivors to a safe base in the city's flower apartment complex. Since this complex is near his home, Son Goku's disciple Sung warned that your followers have returned to the afterlife. Kisu then threw a corroded skeleton at it. Elder Lim immediately absorbed it upon seeing that. Unexpectedly, this was Song Gu's plan all along. Using his weapon crafting skill from bones, he turned the skeleton into a bomb. The bomb exploded from within, causing Elder Slim's body to blow apart. In the end, Sung Gu received a reward of 2,255 gold coins for hunting the terrifying grip. He ordered his guys to collect Slim's slime, just in case it's needed later. From the Elder's corpse, Jung Gu discovered something. It was the core of Elder Slim, containing a concentrated acid with extreme corrosive power. This core can be used to melt or assemble any kind of hard material. Meanwhile, Han Ho was checking his phone when he slipped and noticed a problem. More and more comments were being deleted from the post. Earlier, Song-gu had already suspected something strange was going on here. Nobody would willingly spend 1,000 gold coins just to help others. As expected, the purpose of those posting was to lure survivors to the apartment complex to ambush them. They were discussing that killing someone would earn a reward of 5,000 gold coins. The mastermind was the boss of this group, but he was only working under someone else's orders. Curious, his underlings asked who the boss was, only to see their leader clutch, his head trembling in fear, saying, "The boss is a cultist. A serial killer, the most dangerous person the bald guy has ever faced." Very quickly, the underlings confirmed their prey was on the way here. The enemy said there were 3 people, and they were currently at the park. The group immediately sped off to the location. The 17th blood-drinking prey had arrived at the apartment complex, an open area. It's easy to lure people there, because the residents know better than to get involved, so they stay silent. After a while, they saw 3 figures on the road. The driver immediately floored the gas to ram them, but the 3 turned out to be skeleton frames, crafted by Sung-gu. They had fallen into his trap. The boss was quickly dragged out of the car by Sung-gu, who angrily cursed, "Sung-gu, you bastard, do you even know who we are?" But before he could finish, he took a punch to the face that dealt about 20% damage. Sung-gu immediately ordered his skeleton squad to probe his strength. But the opponent was too fast. They couldn't keep up. In the blink of an eye, he took down 2 skeletons and lunged at Sung-gu at lightning speed. Luckily, Sung-gu had chosen a shield earlier, so the attack failed. Then Jisoo and Han Ho joined the fight. The young man hid in the bushes, throwing weapons at the vampire, who was very much like a Kai. So he decided to shift his target to Han Ho. When danger struck, his right hand appeared to rescue his teammate. Everyone joined forces to attack, forcing the vampire to constantly dodge. Seizing the opportunity, the right hand chopped off his left arm. Finally, under the group's siege, his head shook violently, and a sword strike sent it flying into the air. The henchmen who arrived and saw this scene were terrified. They immediately dropped their weapons and surrendered. They confessed that their boss always followed the orders of a mysterious figure known only as the Master. No one knew if the Master was human or a monster, nor what his power was. Sung-gu asked how many people they had killed. One frightened thug answered about more than 20. Hearing this, Jung-gu's eyes suddenly gleamed with deadly intent. He immediately ordered the skeleton army lit RPG squad to slaughter them all. Ignoring their pleas, Jisoo and Han Ho thought this was too cruel, but Sung-gu said, "If they don't die, more innocent people will get hurt." After resting for the night the next morning, everyone set off again. By afternoon, they had reached Han Ho's apartment complex. He was very worried about his parents, unsure if they were safe. So on the way, he kept praying to gods Buddha and the heavens. Luckily, when the door opened, Han Ho's parents were safe. Afterwards, the group stayed for dinner with Han Ho's family. The father recounted that yesterday a pack of zombies attacked his house, but he chased them away with insect spray. After eating, Han Ho's mother invited everyone to drink tea, thankful they had brought her son home. In her eyes, her son barely ate and was like a ghost. Without help, he would have wasted away. After showering, Jisoo borrowed some pajamas from Han Ho's family to wear temporarily. The mother only saw Jisoo as a fragile girl, but didn't know she fought monsters like slicing fruit. The group discussed, "Staying put isn't a good plan. We have to move to the next destination. Maybe those zombies came here to scout. If there's a nearby nest, they'll come in droves." At that moment, Han Ho noticed a new post on the survival app. Moreover, the poster was a prosecutor from the rival district, revealing they had built a very secure base and were recruiting survivors. Reading the comments below, many people responded positively. However, that area was too far from Han Ho's home, so they couldn't get there. Quickly, Han Ho found another post saying there was a safe shelter in Hwasong also recruiting members. Hwasong wasn't too far from Han Ho's home, only about a 20-minute drive. So Sung-gu decided to make this their next destination. Without delay, everyone geared up and prepared to depart. Han Ho's parents also went with them. The father reminded everyone to be careful of the gangsters. They kept lurking around to rob survivors. Sure enough, no sooner had he spoken than the gangsters appeared. Judging by their faces, these kids were just high schoolers. They started threatening, "Anyone with money, hand it over. Donate us at least 5 eggs. Or if you got more, a rocket." Got it. But just after saying that, the whole gang suddenly turned their cars around and fled. It turned out a giant pack of wolves had appeared behind them. Fighting a close combat battle against 4-legged monsters is very dangerous. Teeth, claws, and human strength are at a disadvantage. The wolf's spine runs parallel to the ground. whereas the human spine is perpendicular. Once fallen, a person won't have enough time to regain balance if attacked immediately. At that moment, it would all be over. Then, after scouting their prey, the wolf pack decided to attack. Sung Gu immediately threw a bottle containing Slim's slime and the head of a wolf, which corroded its facial skin. Next, he ordered the skeleton squad to keep their distance and launch bone weapons. As the wolves approached, Sung Gu and his team threw Slim's slime at them again. Those hit by the slime temporarily lost their combat abilities. Taking advantage of that, the right hand jumped down to finish off their lives. Congratulations to the player for earning 240 gold from hunting the savage wolves. After the wolf pack was wiped out, Sung Gu leveled up to level 7. However, his soul skill was still not strong enough to tame a wolf. The next morning, the group was very close to the safe base. However, they were blocked by giant winged lizards. Sung Gu told everyone to take a rest to prepare for action at night. After dark, the lizards on the rooftops fell into a deep sleep. At this point, the cards appeared once again. Choose a card linked to your profession. 15 seconds remaining. Suddenly, a card in front of Young Gu disappeared. That meant someone else had already chosen it. The card Sung Gu needed had to have the best effect when combined with the Necromancer Summoner Manhwa profession. Finally, he chose the Magic Harm card. Sung Gu gained a new skill called Death Aura, which can empower his immortal disciples. Young Han Ho took too long to choose, so the good cards were taken by others. As a result, he only got a 1-star Cleric card. Really unlucky. Han Ho's father got a 3-star Vanguard card, while Han Ho's mother chose a 1-star Chef card. Finally, Jisoo picked the 3-star Assassin card with the Elite skill, a passive ability that amplifies senses in critical situations. Then, Sung Gu's uncle explained his skill more clearly. He can create a safe zone to avoid monster attacks, effective within a radius of 200 meters. Thanks to this skill, they no longer needed to head to the Hwasong base. At this time, the flying lizards woke up and flew away to hunt elsewhere. The reckless kids dared to return to their hideout, but when they came back, the atmosphere felt off. It turned out that because they didn't pay their dues on time, a member of the racing gang was transformed into a vampire. The vampire revealed that his boss was watching their group. If they didn't earn 10,000 gold within 2 days, the boss would massacre them all. Just then, Sung Gu's group suddenly appeared and recognized the opponent as a vampire. Sung Gu thought this guy was connected to the mysterious boss. The vampire immediately lunged to attack Sung Gu, but his arms were tightly held by the skeleton squad. Then, Sung Gu stabbed his sword through the vampire's neck. However, the vampire's vitality was fierce, and he quickly broke free from the skeleton's grip. Seeing this, Han Ho threw a throwing knife from a distance, creating an opening for Di Shu to chop off the vampire's left arm. The Firestone effect activated, and his arm was instantly burned. Finally, the vampire was pummeled relentlessly by Sung Gu's disciples. The vampire had to call a timeout to confer. "So what exactly do you guys want from me?" Actually, he thought Sung Gu could only control skeletons and probably wasn't good at fighting. If he ambushed him, he could kill him instantly. But Sung Gu was well aware of his intentions and told his men to prepare for another round. In the end, the vampire still refused to confess. Young Gu shared some crucial info and told Jisoo to send him off to sell salt. You received 320 gold for killing a player. At that moment, the noobs realized Sung Gu's crew were all hidden experts, so the gold they had painstakingly saved was confiscated by everyone. After 2 clashes with vampires, Sung Gu discovered that this species had developed an entire system. Besides the mysterious boss, the subordinates also had the ability to increase the number of vampires. Some monsters have limits, but vampires don't. They spread like a virus. There was one that took the group quite some time to defeat. If they showed up in a horde, it would be total chaos, so everyone needed to get stronger quickly. Suddenly, a red alert popped up. What happens to those who don't choose any card? If you refuse to become a player after being given 2 chances, you will now turn into a monster. Sure enough, a few noobs who didn't pick cards transformed into monsters. With no other choice, Sung Gu ordered his right-hand man to eliminate them. You received 3,000 gold for hunting werewolves. Congratulations, player, you've leveled up to level 8. The title chose a random upgrade card and added 3 agility stats. After reaching level 8, Sung Gu's summoning skill could now be used with werewolf corpses. That meant his minions gained 3 more white bone wolf skeletons. Their strength was formidable, capable of soloing vampires easily. Sung Gu told Golden Head, "Lead me to the vampire nest." Golden Head revealed it was an old used car dealership. The managers there were ruthless. Anyone who didn't pay enough gold got drained to death. After a while, the group arrived at the car dealership. Golden Head mentioned. Chaos was unfolding ahead. A mad bear and a vampire were fighting. It seemed the bear was a player who didn't pick a card and transformed into a vampire claw. The bear was slashed with countless wounds, but it was no pushover. Immediately slapping the other with a powerful blow, both the bear and vampire were badly injured. They both roared angrily and charged each other ready to land, finishing blows, sensing the right moment. Sung-gu ordered his guys to rush in for a brutal kill steal. They took down the vampire's life, then two white bone wolves started battling the mad bear. The bear was already badly wounded, so it was no match for the wolves. It quickly bit the dust. Congratulations, you earned 3,500 gold for hunting the bear monster. Then, Sung-gu successfully summoned the bear's spirit. Its massive body made even the white bone wolves respect it. Just as the group prepared to move out, the mysterious boss possessed a girl among the noobs. I'm curious about the one who killed my kids, he said, then focused on Young-gu because he was the strongest here. Strange sounds came from his mouth. You insect, you're dead, Sung-gu. Instantly, a warning appeared. You have been cursed by the vampire lord. You need holy power to lift the curse. The boss told everyone, you're done for. I'll hunt each of you down and devour your guts. But before he finished, Sung-gu kicked him flying. Then he noticed the curse mark had appeared on his hand. Sung-gu recalled that earlier Han-ho had chosen a 1-star monk card. He asked if there was another way to lift the curse, and his brother replied, no way. This is the vampire's blood tracking skill. It reveals the victim's location. Will be revealed every 12 hours depending on the situation. Special challenges also appear. The zone must eliminate the assassins targeting their lives. Completing the mission rewards 30,000 gold and a grade C item. Following the guidance of some reckless kids, the group found a grade item exchange shop. This time, besides the gold, silver and bronze tiers, there was also a platinum tier with a fee of 100,000 gold. Because the platinum ticket was too expensive, Sung-gu only chose the gold ticket. He rolled a legendary grade item called the Master Skill Upgrade Voucher. You will be granted a random skill at master level without needing special training. Sung-gu's new skill is Sanctuary, which creates a space to hide disciples and summon them anytime. However, this space only applies to disciples in intact condition. The cooldown time is 1 hour. Jisoo and Han-ho also chose tickets, but their results were strange. One got a healing potion chest, another got a bullfighting armor. Why did some get great loot, while others got trash? Life is really unfair. Elsewhere, vampires had just captured a group of survivors. Among them were students from Sung-gu's school. As they prepared to leave, the right hand appeared. The vampires thought it was a new type of monster and wanted to play around a bit. Little did they know the right hand was just bait. Just as the vampires approached, they were pierced by bone spears. At that moment, the skeleton squad finally revealed themselves. Sung-gu ordered his brothers to finish off the vampires. Han-ho was surprised that the right hand, who was just a low-level goblin days ago, was now so powerful. Quickly, all the vampires were wiped out. Only one remained. Please spare me, I'll reveal everything. How many people are inside that factory? Name the exact number and their ranks. The vampire leader is here and currently at level 5. As the vampire finished speaking, a spear pierced through his neck. A survivor killed him to avenge friends who were killed by vampires inside the vampire den. Meanwhile, a meeting was taking place. Many survivors were also imprisoned here. Very quickly a figure appeared. It was none other than Sung-gu. Seeing someone arrive, the vampires immediately became alert. Conversely, the prisoners were happy because some recognized Sung-gu. Didn't you get a message from the boss? Didn't your boss tell you who I am? Are you the one who killed the northern manager? But all they got in response was a cold smile. Sung-gu immediately activated his new skill, Shattered Blade. For a while the vampires were affected by the deadly curse effect. All stats dropped severely. The skeleton army began their attack. Although their strength wasn't that great, then how terrifying must the strength of the so-called boss be? At that moment, Sung-gu suddenly received a combined effect from the skeletons, and werewolves attack speed plus 10%, strength plus 10%, and defense increased by 50%. The director quickly felt the change in the werewolf pack. The situation immediately reversed. He was pinned to the ground and savagely torn apart by the werewolves. Finally, Sung-gu stabbed a bone spear through his head. Congratulations, you have collected 10,000 gold for killing a special player. The dead has become your disciple. After summoning the director's soul, Sung-gu received his memory fragment frame. Before Sung-gu's eyes, the scene suddenly shifted into a dark room. He was observing the room through the perspective of the director, a vampire wearing a hat and glasses. He asked everyone, "What's the main focus of this game? Anyone want to answer?" Honestly, I don't really know what's going on, but I do know what needs to be done. We need to evolve the supernatural entities or creatures in this universe. Whoever they are, we've been granted a special kind of chance. Humanity has reached its limit. We need to eliminate this weak race. We will evolve into a different entity and open up a new world. At this moment, Sung-gu realized that he was the vampire lord. I have a mission, and all of you need to complete this mission with me. Of course, sir. Please give us your orders. What's with this strange enthusiasm? Sung-gu felt they had been brainwashed by the Lord. Maybe that's why their organization grew so powerful in just a few days. We will throw a celebration party. Hwazong was the first location. Let's invite all the neighbors to join the fun. This was the moment the vampires began their hunt. Suddenly, Sung-gu was assigned a hidden mission. It had appeared before when the professor was killed by the gang leader. The mission was to stop the vampire massacre. The reward was some unknown hidden skill. Elsewhere, the vampire lord also discovered that the director was killed by Sung-gu. How could he have killed the branch manager with just a few weak skeletons? As long as we can track him with a curse. When the party ended, I really want to see what kind of person he is. The next morning, Sung-gu revealed the vampire massacre plan at Hwashong to everyone inside the vampire lair. The group found a few useful items. Han Ho discovered a multi-purpose power bank that could supply electricity to other devices. Charging a phone fully took just over 10 minutes. Jas found a mid-level elixir bottle that could cure various infectious diseases and soothe wounds. At this time, Goldhead and everyone from the racing gang bowed their heads to thank Sung-gu for eliminating the oppressive vampires. Sung-gu told them no thanks were needed. There would be tasks for them in the future. Then Sung-gu told Han Ho's father that they could get started. He was extremely excited. Finally, I can harness my mysterious power and establish the Vanguard camp. A magnetic shield instantly appeared. Health would recover faster. Inside the camp, the manager could set entry restrictions. Han Ho's mother was a one-star chef, so her food could help everyone increase stamina and recover quickly. Suddenly, a very long notification popped up before Sung-gu warning of an important event lasting 7 days. Anyone moving into the combat zone is prohibited. 2 gold coins collected will be doubled. The second 3 players will be given a chance to own a card each time they hunt a mutant. 4 boss monsters will appear in the area. The chance to get their powerful items which aren't available in the store is on the line. Son Goku couldn't let the vampires keep deceiving others, so he posted a warning on the survival app to alert the survivors. After that, Sung-gu's post received mixed comments. Half thought Sung-gu was just trying to act dangerous on social media. The other half agreed with him that people shouldn't trust others so easily. Currently, the bases have started to ignore government orders and are building their own communities as the world's order collapses. This is also when ambitions begin to surface. After a while, the vehicle carrying everyone slowly stopped in front of the group. It was a new hunting ground. This time, new monster species appeared with harmony system skills. They could attack players from a distance. But these guys were nothing compared to the skeleton army squad. Soon after, the monsters were slaughtered to the last one. These creatures aren't too dangerous in the life of the Kobo goblin species, but can deal magic damage. The purpose of this hunt was for Han Ho to level up and discover new powers. The group quickly moved into the supermarket. Warning, you have entered the Kobo fortress. The entrance is sealed by magic. Find a way to escape this place. A magic circle suddenly appeared beneath everyone's feet. Light flashed, and Han Ho vanished. He appeared in a strange room. Around him were Kobo goblins, staring intently. Unexpectedly, Han Ho could hear them talking. This human stepped on a trap. He's alone without any backup. Hearing this, Han Ho realized he was the only one brought here. Where is everyone else? Spotting a weakness, the Kobo horde immediately charged to attack. Han Ho was pierced dozens of times. Goodbye, Mom and Dad. I'm going ahead. I followed the senior and the dungeon. But wait, why don't I feel pain even though I'm stabbed? This is surreal. Han Ho recalled that earlier he had received a skill called Shield lasting 10 seconds. Although useless against common-level monsters, it worked on low-level ones. These Kobo goblins were talking about their dad. Whoever just stabbed him, step forward. At this moment, Jesus and the young man with the spear were preparing to rescue Han Ho, but realized the monsters had already been sent packing by him. Don't tell me you cleared this place out. Han Ho Sr., did you see? That's my new skill. These guys don't stand a chance. If we stayed here, Sung-gu would still be alone. About that, Senior, don't worry. The ones to fear are those monsters. After slaughtering the monsters in the room, Sung-gu found a severely injured young man ahead. This wound would be difficult to heal even with divine medicine. His breath was extremely weak, but he still tried to point at a box on the shelf. Seeing this, Sung-gu went over and took the box down. Inside was an unidentified egg, with no rank known, its effect unknown. In his dying moments, the man barely managed to say something unclear. The boss monster took the owner's identification token. Then he breathed his last due to the severe wound. Sunggu recognized his profession as a 5-star dragon knight. It was a pity that this person had died. He was probably trapped here while searching for supplies in the supermarket, and the item called the identification token was taken by the boss monster. Dragon Knight is a profession with explosive potential later on. Although there's no exact info yet, Sunggu believed this must be a dragon egg. Even in his final moments, he insisted, "Track it for me. Then I'll take this as a desperate plea to end this cursed game." Congratulations, you received 150 gold for hunting Kobo monsters. Congratulations, you earned 800 gold for hunting Kobo mages. After slaughtering the Kobo horde, Sunggu gained a new skill called Corpse Explosion. He can create an explosion by turning corpses into bombs. Any monster daring to charge will be blown to bits in no time. Striking right into the nest of those concubines, just one slash of the sword took down several of them, even a combo of that caliber. The mage only needed one strike with his right hand. Well done, right hand. I have praise for you. Beware the grip of the Kobo. A high-level mage has appeared. Currently there's a solid barrier. Most attacks won't be able to break through it. Break the cores scattered throughout the dungeon area. Warning, the grip is casting a death curse on players below level. Anyone around level 10 in the dungeon will die instantly. Stop it within the time limit. Seeing this, Sunggu ordered his subordinates. Gather up. Then they threw the concubines' bodies at the feet of the boss. It started to feel a bit off. That guy. That human. What do you want to do? Thanks for waiting for me. Now say goodbye forever. Saying that, Google activated the skill. The corpse explosion skill. The boss was immediately engulfed in flames. Unexpectedly, it wasn't affected by the explosion. Turns out, it was the boss's reincarnation time skill. The death curse's effect now only has 25 minutes left. So Sunggu had to switch tactics to break the curse. That was to find and destroy the 3 important cores in the dungeon. You destroyed. 1 dungeon core destroyed. Time remaining is 19 minutes and 27 seconds. Sunggu summoned the combo to read their memories very quickly. He discovered the location of the 2nd core. It's in the control room on the 1st floor. You destroyed 2 cores. Dungeon. Time left is 16 minutes and 18 seconds. When Sunggu went to find the last core, he accidentally saw Hanho's scene. Pouring damage on the concubines, Sunggu and the right hand couldn't believe their eyes, had to rub them several times. Why is this guy suddenly so overpowered? After everyone gathered, the death curse activation time was down to just over 13 minutes. Everyone in the group started cooperating to clear the way for Sunggu and the right hand. After spotting the target, Sunggu made a springboard for the right hand to jump high. 1 sword swing, and the last core was cut in 2. You destroyed all cores in the dungeon, successfully stopped the death curse. At this point, since the barrier was down, the final grip was no longer immortal. Then you're done for, kid. Then the whole group dragged themselves down to the basement to gang up on the boss. Suddenly, Root suddenly crawled out of its mouth. The Kobo boss monster transformed into a new boss called the True Monster, because the True Monster's body is all made of trees. Jisoo slashed it with the fire sword. The fire rock skill was also used with the corpse explosion to destroy its body. However, the True Monster's regeneration speed was very fast, so it was ineffective. After, Sunggu's skeleton army squad started suffering casualties. However, the True Monster also ran out of mana and had to use life force as a substitute. This was the perfect chance for Sunggu to use the Blood Demon Stone. The demon effect steals 2% mana from the opponent with each attack. Once the opponent's mana is depleted, their life force will be taken. Congratulations. You received 12,840 gold for hunting the True Monster boss. Congratulations on leveling up to level 10. You received an item spin ticket. You are the 69th person in history to achieve this. After leveling up, Jungho acquired a new skill called Summon the Dead. This skill allows him to summon 10 zombies from hell. These zombies are not limited by maximum size. They will turn to dust after 10 minutes. Cooldown is 30 minutes. From the rubble, Sunggu found the sword of the Dragon Knight player. This is the warrior's code he mentioned. Before dying, the ownerless sword of unknown rank granted a bonus to 6 strength stats. This sword would become the key to awakening the dragon egg. But your fate isn't to be a dragon knight, so you can't do that. To wield this power, you must keep the egg for 5,000 days. Each time the sword is stained with the blood of a powerful enemy, the egg recognizes you and accelerates the time. 5,000 days is over 13 years. By the time the egg hatches, everyone else might have withered away long ago. You also have to defeat high-level monsters for the egg to acknowledge you. Luckily, this sword still boosts 6 strength stats, or else it'd be pretty useless. At that moment, Sunggu's phone suddenly received a message. The blonde guy had sent him an update. He's currently at the Flower Plaza. More than 100 people have gathered there, and no sign of the vampires yet. Turns out Sunggu had assigned the racing gang to sneak into the safe zone and observe the people there. While checking the lair of the real monsters, Sunggu discovered 2 wolf corpses. He immediately used his necromancer summoning skill to raise them. That means the skeleton army lit RPG now has 5 bone wolves. Now it's time to head to the Flower Plaza and see how the vampire gang's fate unfolds. It's already dark. The survivors are still waiting for the manager of this place to show up. But what they don't realize is that in the eyes of the vampires, they're nothing more than a delicious feast. Quiet, you guys, get ready to move out. The banquet has begun. Why aren't we going to catch girls? The straight guys already attacked the factory earlier. Using blood tracking skills, the vampires have located Sunggu nearby. We have to kill him before he ruins the feast. This is the boss's order. Don't leave a single bone intact. Quickly, a vampire squad set out to hunt Sunggu one last time. His location was revealed to be at the school. Entering the parking lot, the vampires found the corpse of a recently killed wolf. Not long ago, the wolf's blood was still fresh. The blood trail led to the auditorium, so they assumed Sunggu was inside. The whole group immediately charged in. The squad leader, a direct subordinate of the boss, was confident in his strength. He alone could take down 2 wolves at once. Soon the 2 sides clashed. Seeing the vampires enter the auditorium, Sunggu and the skeleton army squad immediately fled. The vampires assumed he was scared and quickly pursued. Little did they know this was Sunggu's plan to lure them deeper. By the time the vampires realized it, it was too late. Sunggu had summoned hell zombies. The vampires were caught off guard and lost many members. You earned 2,000 gold for killing a player. Then the right-hand man commanded the skeleton squad to join the fight. When battling the immortal disciples, the vampire's power was immediately reduced due to combo effects. One of them thought that killing Sunggu would guarantee victory, but anyone who dared approach him was blown apart by corpse bombs. Then the right-hand man just swung his sword and finished them off. Easy work with high rewards. At this point, the vampires were utterly defeated. Only the squad leader remained holding his ground. This guy was very strong. Even the hell zombies couldn't harm him. They were strategizing to deal with the vampire horde. One guy went to the other side, another went over here, and you just need to stand still, right here. Alright. Now let's create a necromancer explosion. I told you to detonate, so why are you just standing there like an idiot? Oh, I forgot, you're just bones, not a corpse, so you can't explode. Back to reality. Just as the team leader was about to charge, Junggu summoned nearby zombies. Since zombies are also corpses, they can trigger the necromancer explosion. The enemy was caught off guard and couldn't dodge in time, immediately overwhelmed, but the leader fell to the ground. The skeleton army lit RPG rushed in and bit off both his legs. "AAA, you bastard, the Lord will kill you to avenge us. Congratulations, you received 20,000 gold for killing a special player. The egg will hatch in 4,949 days. Some vampires were also soul-summoned by Junggu and became his disciples, activating the combo effect, with a condition of 5 or more vampires. Lifesteal effect strength stats increase by 2%, and all stats boost by 10% when entering bloodthirst mode. The power of the skeleton squad reached a whole new level. Looks like a post-apocalyptic game system feast is about to begin here. The vampire minions started confiscating weapons from the survivors. On the surface, they claimed it was for silence, danger, and order in the base, but in reality, they wanted to lower everyone's defense to the minimum. Sister Jesus, your 2 swords are hidden where you told us. Since there's a thief player in the group, it was pretty easy. Next person, don't bother hiding your weapons. We find them during checks anyway. Now, a group of masked people stepped out of the building. Han Ho and Jesus immediately recognized them as vampires wearing masks to hide their fangs. The weapons are well hidden. According to the plan, they just need to wait for Junggu to arrive and then strike. The vampire lord will be held accountable for all of this. This concludes the chapter of the SSS rank summoner Junggu in the story. If you enjoyed the video, please give me a like. Goodbye everyone.